Good afternoon, 8th grade. Well, guys, I can't believe it's been 3 years. All right, I'm looking at all of you. We've got, yeah, right? So, we are to our last couple days, this being our last full day. And then we've got our 8th grade celebration, and then we've got our field trip tomorrow, and then a half day on Thursday. So, great job, everybody. So, to start, I'll start with kind of the immortal words of Dr. Seuss. He wrote something called, "Oh, the Places You'll Go." Congratulations. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your way, and you know what to do. And you are the guy who will decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets, look them over with care. About some you will say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not-so-good street. And you may not find any you'll want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town. It's opener there in the wide open air. Out there, things can happen and frequently do to people as brainy and footsy as you. And then things start to happen. Don't worry, don't stew. Just go straight along. You'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way up. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. Except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen too. You can get all hung up in a prickly perch, and your gang will fly on. You'll be left in a lurch. You'll come down from the lurch with an unpleasant bump, and the chances are then that you'll be in a slump. And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun. Unslumping yourself is not easily done. You will come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted, but mostly they're darked. A place you could sprain both your elbow and your chin. Do you dare to stay out? Do you dare to go in? How much can you lose? How much can you win? And if you go in, should you turn left or right and 3/4, or maybe not quite? Or go around back and sneak in from behind? Simple it's not, I'm afraid you will find. For a mind maker upper to make up his mind, you can go get so confused that you'll start to race down long wiggled roads at a breaknecking pace, and grind on for miles across weirdish wild space, headed, I fear, toward a most useless place, the waiting place. For people just waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow. Or the waiting around for a yes or no, or waiting for their hair to grow. Everyone is just waiting. Waiting for the fish to bite, or waiting for the wind to fly a kite, or waiting around for Friday night, or waiting perhaps for their Uncle Jake, or a pot to boil, or a better break, or a string of pearls, or a pair of pants, or a wig with curls, or another chance. Everyone is just waiting. No, that's not for you. Somehow you'll escape all that waiting and staying. You'll find the bright places where boom bands are playing. With banner flip-flapping, once more you'll ride high, ready for anything under the sky. Ready because you're that kind of guy. Oh, the places you'll go, there is fun to be done. There are points to be scored, there are games to be won. And the magical things you can do with that ball will make you the winningest winner of all. Fame, you'll be as famous can be, with the whole wide world watching you win on TV. Except when they don't, because sometimes they won't. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too, games you can't win because you'll play against you. All alone, whether you like it or not, alone will be something you'll be quite a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants. There are some down the road between hither and yon that can scare you so much you won't want to go on. But on you will go, though the weather be foul. On you will go, though your enemies prowl. On you will go, though the hack-and-cracks howl. Onward up many a frightening creek, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak. On and on you will hike, and I know you hike far, and face up to your problems, whatever they are. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. Just never forget to be dexterous and deft, and never mix up your right foot from your left. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So, be your name Buxbaum or Bixby or Bray or Madakai, Ali, Van Allen, O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Now, thinking of that, you've accomplished so much to this point, but there's so much to come. 6 through 8, for many of you, may seem like it was just a flash, and at the same instant may feel like it was a lifetime. Much of life is like that. It goes fast, but also feels slow. All I can say is that their future is bright. There are so many new learning opportunities here in this area, but many others. I think about kind of our new world of learning, and there's a quote from Dan Pink. He writes a book. It's called A Whole New Mind. Widespread online access combined with all those overseas knowledge and workers are making the attributes measurable by IQ much easier to replace, but the one aptitude that's proven impossible for computers to reproduce and very difficult for far workers to connect by electrons to match is empathy. To be empathetic, to feel for others. And the quote for empathy and what he claims to be empathy is the ability to manage yourself in someone else's position and to intuit what that person is feeling, to stand in their shoes, to see their eyes, to feel with their hearts. It is a stunning act of imagination, the ultimate virtual reality, climbing into another's mind and to experience the world through that person's perspective. Carry that with you. So I leave you to conclude. Be kind and caring. Show others respect. Persevere through the inevitable challenging tasks you will face in life. And empathize, empathize, empathize. And with that, thank you. So can Miss Clifton, come up and deliver the first torch speech.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Principal Jordan. I'm Ms. Clifton, one of the 8th grade English teachers, and it is my honor to introduce you to our torch speech competition winners. Every year, we ask 8th graders to reflect on their time as middle school students and think about how they've grown and what they've learned, both inside and outside of school. They write a speech to pass the torch or share their wisdom and advice, both with their 8th grade peers here and the 7th graders who will take their place next year. I'm excited to hand the mic over to the winner from my classes, Ariel Kilgore, who will share with you her speech on fitting in and standing out.
Hi. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you that Robert Adams Middle School is the best place on earth, that it's better than Disney World, because that would be lying. We've all had days when school feels like 12 hours instead of 6, where our heads pound and our eyes sag from watching the clock. But hard days go by faster with someone to guide you. I've gone through many a math class feeling like my head is filled with fog, having no idea what to do. Sometimes you need to ask someone with a flashlight to guide you through the fog or teach you to guide yourself. If I've learned anything in my 3 years in middle school, it's that you don't always have to know everything. And if you just sit quietly nodding your head, pretending you do know the answer, getting called on makes you look like an idiot. Trust me, it's happened many, many times to me, and I can't remember one time where my grade or pride didn't struggle shortly after. It was the summer before 7th grade, and I was attending summer camp. We had just finished lunch and were heading off to the sports field to burn some time. The majority voted on playing football, a sport I was unfamiliar with. We were split into teams and play quickly began. Nobody asked if there was any confusion with the rules, because I guess I was just supposed to know. Clearly I didn't, as I stood awkwardly on the side of the field, walking alongside the players, watching them jump on top of each other and call out unfamiliar terms. And I felt like a complete idiot. I had no idea who was on my team, and actually, at the start of the game, I didn't even know there were teams. As if that wasn't enough, as if humiliation hadn't played with me enough, I made a mistake. The team captain of team not my team called a group huddle, and me, being completely oblivious to what you might even call common sense, went in as an apparent spy to the huddle. I stood in the back politely as every member of team not my team looked at me. I smiled uncomfortably and didn't realize I was in the wrong place until being labeled a spy. Finally, after a fun-filled game, notice my sarcasm, I admitted my dilemma. By the horrified looks on their faces, I could tell they were thinking, "Why, you uncultured swine, how could you not know how to play football?" As you might have guessed, since then, I have formed an unusual bond with football and a tendency to double-check on rules, even if I know the game well. Now, you're probably wondering either, why do I care, or what does this have to do with anything? Well, I learned that I should never be afraid to ask questions, and I haven't shut up since. The ability to speak up for my concerns has helped me enormously throughout the course of my middle school years, but it hasn't been the only thing. I think it is also important to leave a mark on the middle school before you leave. Whether it's a personality quirk or a simply not-so-inside joke, it's okay to stand out a little bit. It's possible that you might just get a couple smiles or make a few friends along the way. There are many ways you can achieve individuality. You could be the artist or the writer or the friend who knows plenty of useless junk. Or you could take the road I did. You could be the one who throws stuffed microbes in a science room or has a collection of strange hats. You could be the one who throws toilet paper in the bathroom while singing songs from The Little Mermaid, which, by the way, I didn't do, so don't ask questions. Or you could be the one who fits the mold. And believe it or not, I found my way out of the mold at a 95-degree softball game. I was in 6th grade without a huge amount of friends on my team. Okay, I had one. But moving on, we were losing pathetically. It was a playoff game in the last inning. We were up to bat with unlimited runs. This was going to be where we made our comeback. We were only down by 20 points. We had 2 outs and a slimming chance at the ball. None of us smelled remotely good, and the rain was a relief when it came. But when it came hard. All of us ran for shelter in the dugout, except me. What did I have to lose? I sang louder than I thought I could and lost my voice. I danced so hard I heard my hip pop. But did I enjoy it? Every second. Now, I have no doubt that you were thinking, who is this weirdo? And honestly, I agree. But I made my point. I made my mark on this school. And now it's your turn. But before you go out and make your mark on the world, I'd like to give one last piece of advice. Just because you're a year older and above all the middle schoolers doesn't mean they're any less intelligent or any more annoying. Remember that you were in their position hardly a year ago, and this partial year you have on them makes you seem godly to them. So smile at a 6th, 7th, or 8th grader you pass. Give them a little wave, and don't tell them they're too young to do something, because seriously, you could be 4 months older. Try to inspire these younger students and guide them through the twists and turns of middle school, or just start with a wave, because you're both still learning, and it always seems that the more we learn, the less we know, because we're still young and our brains still have an infinite thirst for knowledge, whether we like it or not. Despite this, we do know more about the middle school than them. Use this to guide those younger students. So, and because every great speech ends with an I implore you to ask clarifying questions. And to remember that football is played in teams. I implore you to sit with a 6th grader on the bus. And I implore you to be strange, different, and unusual, in a good way.
Thanks, Ariel. And the PTO has a gift for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to introduce the math and science teachers. So if you could come on up, please. First, I would like to introduce myself. I am a math teacher. My name is Ms. Kizik. We have Ms. Doran. We have Mrs. Hayden, who is also a science teacher. We have Mrs. Catone as science, and Mr. Zach. In recognition for your outstanding effort, achievement, and contribution to mathematics, congratulations, to Rohith Ramanathan. Brendan McLeod. Brendan? No? Sasa Cherepinova. Rachel Haynes. Abigail Moran. And Jenna Cannell.
Of outstanding effort, achievement, and contribution to mathematics for my classes, Henry Savino, Brady Heffernan, Karina Volkov, and Anish Guglia.
I have 3 awards for math and 3 for science. So in recognition of outstanding effort, achievement, and contribution in mathematics, I've got Peyton Hastings. Peyton Leone. And Marie Meisner. Just come right over to here. And then in recognition of outstanding effort, achievement, and contribution in science, I'd like to call up Ellie Curry. Abby Glynn. And Sophia Coccarelli.
I'm Mrs. Gatone. I'd like to award a few people for their academic excellence in science, their inquisitive nature, and their enduring curiosity. I would first like to recognize Emma Grace, Sanjna Njidi, Mushi Khatri, Danny Liberty, and Emmett O'Leary.
All right, in recognition for outstanding effort and achievement and contribution in science, I have my 4 awards. The 2 for IPS are going to be Julia Longi and Kate Canoni. And in my general science classes, we have Salone Corden and Sadie Trainer.
I would now like to call up Ms. Faris to introduce her torch winner.
Thank you, everyone. I'd like to point out that the speeches I read were fantastic, and I know that was the same sentiment with all of our English teachers. So I wanted to thank all of the students for putting in their utmost effort. And for my classes, our winner is Josh Maxwell.
When I was given the instructions to reflect on my 3 years at Adams Middle School and give advice to others, all I thought was, I have so many memories and even more tips to survival. So I had no other option than to create the 10 Commandments of Robert Adams Middle School. I hope that you can relate to these commandments and apply them to the time that you spent in middle school. Listen carefully, because if these commandments get destroyed, I most definitely won't be climbing the mountain that is middle school again. All right, enough build-up. Commandment number 10. Always check the lunch menu at least 24 hours before lunch is served. Why would someone do this? Well, you definitely don't want to walk into the cafeteria to find out that you are only going to be served a piece of sliced turkey, or even worse, a single cheese stick. I have suffered this fate because I did not follow this commandment, but I have more hope that you made better lunch choices than I did. Okay, number 9. When it gets to the end of the year, do not think that your work is over. You may believe that the second to last week of school is the home stretch, but no, that week has a math final. After the math final, you might say, yay, it's the last week of school. I'm going to Six Flags and getting my yearbook signed. But then you remember they have a social studies celebration on the third to last day of school. Number 8, you should never be fooled by the scam that the teachers get away with. If you get assigned something called a celebration or a fun assignment, you should never assume that you are actually doing something fun. The truth is that you are being assigned a test. No party is occurring, no fun is being had. What your teacher is actually saying is that you are going to have a test. Now that we have exposed the deepest, darkest secrets of the teachers, we are on to number 7. Number 7 is a rule that most of us can probably relate to. You should always do your homework before playing video games. Oops. You never know when you will be playing Fortnite and the gamer's rage sits in so hard that you completely forget about your homework. I'm sure that no teacher will accept the excuse of, well, there was one guy left and I was no-scoped. Number 6 goes back to the cafeteria. You must stay seated until Gloria taps your table and says, nothing on that table. If you don't follow this commandment, well then, Mr. Jordan most likely will start yelling across the lunchroom. It is such a simple commandment, but so difficult to remember. Number 5 helps guide you through your social life. If you still want a happy friend at school, then please don't send them countless numbers of memes at 1 in the morning. I may or may not have had one of those friends, and trust me, it is not a pleasant experience waking up with 50 Snapchats of pointless memes. Number 4 is vital to your existence in the 8th grade. If you have the honor of being in Miss Faris's English class, then make sure you turn in your Google Classroom assignments before they are due. I quote, for every day that something is not turned in, you will lose 10 points, and I will not be reminding you to turn your project in. The last thing that anyone wants is to get a 20% on their project because they never clicked the turn in button. Now we have made it to number 3. Never stay after with a teacher without consulting your mother first. If you don't do this, all you will hear when you get home is, where were you? I was so scared. Were you doing drugs? I told you not to do drugs. Then When you finally tell her that you were only staying after with your teacher, your mom will take your phone away for a week because you didn't use it to call her. We have now made it to number 2. It may sound very cliche, but you should never procrastinate. If you have to read a 400-page book by the end of the month, then do not wait until the third to last day of the month to start reading it. Let's just say that it is not a pleasant experience having to cram in all that reading into your schedule. Okay, number 1, the most important rule. If you do not abide by this rule, then your middle school career is ruined. Unless you do the impossible, never dab in Miss Farisa's classroom. You will get stared down from the other side of the room and leave Miss Faris without words. You will be thought of as the kid who does the sneezing gesture, even though he didn't have to sneeze. With all jokes aside, I have held this metaphorical torch in my hands for my entire time in middle school. This torch didn't give me superpowers or has given me perfect grades, but instead it helped guide me through the dark maze that is middle school. It has been an honor learning with each and every one of you for the past 3 years. I'm excited to keep learning with those who are staying in Holliston. For those who are not, I wish you good luck and hope that we cross paths in the future. Thank you for making these 3 years so memorable.
On behalf of the PTA, I'd like to present Josh with a $50 Amazon gift card for his fantastic and funny speech.
Just to introduce ourselves, I'm social studies teacher Mrs. Rice, and we have Mr. Kraft, who teaches social studies and English, and Mrs. Simino. And for English, we have Miss Fries, Miss Clifton. Okay, I'm going to do mine first. I'm going to name all 5, and then you guys can come up, okay? So receiving a certificate in recognition of academic excellence in social studies in my classes are Michaela Halpern, Max Payne, Annika Rose, Camden Benedon, and Robert Payne.
Okay, so for academic excellence in social studies and recognition of outstanding effort, achievement, and contribution to social studies, the following 4 people will come up. Please hold your applause until I get through all 4 names. Aiden Malvey, Mia Wolfgang, Sophia Lindsay, and Emmett O'Leary.
Okay, for social studies, the award winners in my classroom are Hamsini Kanakagiri, Leah Moran, Chris Del Ponte, and Brady Stevens. And I will transition to English. The awards for English in my classroom go to Isabella Rahim, Caroline Campbell, Annabelle Arnold, Summer O'Neill, Jocelyn Quinnen, and Ava Moran.
right, for academic excellence in English, we have Matthew Walther, Josh Maxwell, Sophia Lindsay, and Grace Wang.
All right, and last but not least, for academic excellence of English in my classes for your outstanding effort, achievement, and contribution to English, Grace Amlett, Connor Wood, Jordan Kuharich, Mackenzie Mercier, and Brian Sahajian.
Our final torch speech will be from Annabelle Arnold from my classroom, and the title of it is The Trouble with Resolutions. Annabelle?
Though it's always been a top priority, I have no clue how to improve myself. Throughout my 3 years of middle school, I've received remarks about the ways I could be a better person. Sometimes they were as important as the comments from teachers when report cards came out, most often reading, "Annabelle should share her knowledge more in class." And sometimes they were as small as little whispers from my parents telling me not to swing my arms too much while walking or to sit up straighter. But most often, it's been me, criticizing myself. Like all of you, I'm keenly aware of my faults, and I reflect on the situation that these faults of mine most like to reveal themselves. Still, I feel lost on how to fix them. On a recent Thursday afternoon, I dug through a messy drawer in my room. I found old notebooks, my third-grade writing portfolio, a really old pair of headphones, a box of saxophone reeds, even though I don't play the saxophone. And buried at the bottom was something peculiar. A large piece of notebook paper with a list of ways I wanted to improve myself. I remember this, I thought, pulling the paper out. I created it in 7th grade to depict my ideal 8th grade self. I wrote that by the end of 8th grade, I wanted to develop better time management skills, become more motivated, join more clubs, become better at sports, learn to manage my many fears, become more decisive and assertive, become more goal-oriented, take more positive risks, procrastinate less, finish more things that I start, ask more questions, become less afraid to say what's on my mind, and, of course, share my knowledge more in class. Well, here I am, the end of 8th grade, and I have not improved in any of these things. I had the exact same flaws as my 7th grade self. In fact, during the past 3 years, I've done the opposite of improve myself. Since 7th grade, I've developed new procrastination habits. I worry more, I lose things more often, I spend less time outside in the sun. Some of my grades have dropped. I don't find joy in every single moment of life like I used to. But now that I think about it, despite all this, maybe I have grown significantly. I've become smarter and more experienced. During the countless hours I've spent in classrooms, I've learned how to factor polynomials completely, how to talk about what I did last week in Spanish, en la semana pasado yo tomé muchos exámenes, and how to include rhetorical devices like antithesis into my writing. I've learned many weird things outside of school, too, and if you want, I can tell you random facts about prion diseases and a ton of information about psychology. I even taught myself a bit of Norwegian, thanks to my extreme boredom one day in 7th grade. Jeg forstår ikke, as they say in Oslo, which means I do not understand, a good phrase to know in any language. But most of all, I've learned important life lessons. I think we all learn some kind of life lesson from middle school. Today, I don't get as discouraged when I get a bad grade. I can stick with problems longer because I now know that if I apply myself long enough, I'll eventually figure them out. I've become more independent and self-reliant. I am different than who I was yesterday, and many of those differences are improvements. So I guess the message I'm trying to share is that sometimes you feel like you haven't learned. You feel like no matter how hard you try, you can't improve. You feel trapped in the mind of your past self. But what you may not realize is that you really are getting better. The things you've improved at may not be so clear or obvious. They may not be the things you even cared about improving at. But that's not the point. Somehow you grew, and you need to give yourself credit for that. And about the things you actually want to improve at, work as hard as you can. Go ahead, try to run a mile 30 seconds faster. Try to conquer your fear of riding skyscraper-high roller coasters. Try to get an A in math or get better at playing Beethoven on the piano. But if you find you're having trouble, don't get discouraged. Start by finding your strengths and focusing on those instead, because you don't have to be amazing at everything to be successful. And that is how I most improved in 3 years. Realizing that I don't have to be the best at everything I do. Early on in middle school, I thought perfection was the ideal, or at least as close to perfection as possible. Then I found parts of middle school challenging, and I discovered some very discouraging weaknesses that I thought a list in my drawer could fix. But the list missed the point. Now at the end of middle school, I'm stronger because I used my strengths to work around my weaknesses, and I made small improvements where I'm weakest. Appreciating this has convinced me to give up lists and resolutions for good. They're too unrealistic, and we all just need to be honest and real with ourselves. Do your best, and I promise you, the rest will take care of itself.
Annabelle, on behalf of the PTA, I'd like to present you with this gift certificate to Amazon. Thank you. Okay, I am going to share the first school award. This is the Good Citizenship Award. I'll read a description of it. It's in recognition of outstanding effort and inclusiveness of all of your peers, as well as offering a positive contribution to the team and the school through your leadership, your confident attitude, and your kindness. The winners of the Citizenship Award are Christopher Del Ponte, Grace Samlick, Phoebe Drohan, Amberly Holden, Katie Cruz, Max Payne.
I would like to present the Distinguished Student Award. This is in recognition for your outstanding effort, achievement, and contribution in English language arts, mathematics, science, and social studies, as well as adding a positive contribution to our school community. I'd like to congratulate Connor Wood, Matthew Walther, Summer O'Neill, Chloe Drohan, and Caroline Sally.
Okay, a couple of things. First of all, I don't know how many of you know this, but June 19th is a pretty big day because I believe I'm right in saying that it is Gloria's birthday. Is that correct, Gloria? Let's give Gloria a hand. I'd also like to thank all of the instructors and paras who came into the 8th grade classrooms to help not only the teachers but the students. You are invaluable, you are appreciated, and your work does not go unnoticed. So thank you, Mrs. Kelly, Mrs. Coyle, Mrs. Ferraro, Mrs. Mulhern, Mrs. Garabedian, Ms. Casali, Mrs. Wysocki, Ms. Mitzak, Mrs. Watson, and Mrs. Richter. Thank you very much. And Caroline and Katie and a few others, come on up for the next presentation.
Okay. On behalf of the class of 2022, we would like to give a big thank you to Mrs. Gavin, our guidance counselor, for all of her support over these past 3 years.
Mrs. Gavin, a lot has changed since we were in 6th grade, but one thing that has remained constant is your unwavering assistance and encouragement.
You are always there for us, whether we are going through bright days or dark.
Please know that we appreciate your advice, patience, and dedication over the past 3 years.
We wish you all the best as we move on to high school and you move back to a new 6th grade class here at Rams.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, I'd like to welcome the related arts teachers to come up and give the Arts Awards.
Hello. Hello, we are the wellness team. Myself, Francine Boucher, Alan, DeAngelis, and Brandon Quass. He's behind me. For excellence in wellness, I have 2 awards, Owen Burke and Fiona Foley.
All right, for excellence in wellness, I have 4 awards. First one, and hold your applause to the end, Cayenne Ledrew, Sophia Lindsay, Maddie Blocker, and Emmanuel De Silva. Come on down.
All right, so for my class, the Excellence in Wellness Awards go to Maxwell Payne and Camden Benedon.
Okay, I have 2 awards, and the first award for excellence in tech ed goes to Grace Lick, and the second to Matthew Walther.
I'm Mrs. Hebert, and I'm here to give the Art Awards. And first, I want to just take a second to say there's an amazing group of artists going on into the Art One Honors program. If you guys could just stand for a second to be recognized. I can't wait to see what you guys are going to do in high school. The first award goes to Alyssa Mankus. Isabella Pollini. Emmett O'Leary. Leah Ellis. And Caroline Campbell.
Hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mrs. Abelutzk. I'm one of the music teachers here. Thank you. I have a couple of awards to give out. I have 2 for general music and I have 2 for chorus. The general music awards are going to people who are staying really focused, doing hard work, and trying their best throughout the year. My first award goes to Bridget Danielle, and the second award goes to Aiden McEachern. For my 2 chorus awards, Anish Guglielm and Abby Roth.
Hello, I'm Mr. Grinna. I think I know everyone in here, but just in case you don't, hi. Yes, that gesture. All right, thank you. So I've got a few awards. I've got a few more students than Mrs. A, so I've got a couple others. So I'll just do general music first, and then band. So for general music, a group that performed at last year's talent show and always came in with a great attitude, always willing to experiment, and always kept good focus, and just came up with a lot of great stuff, and I'm really looking forward to the shenanigans, the musical shenanigans they get into in high school. And that would be the band Boneless. All right, gentlemen, I don't have certificates for all of you guys. But I do. I'll get the ones that for those of you guys that I don't. So Julian, here you go. All right, settle down. I've got Isaac, and other guys. I'm gonna get you guys yours in a little bit. All right, you guys can have a seat. Thank you very much. And then finally, we've got another couple. I had some recordings, but we're a little short on time, so unfortunately we're gonna have to skip that. But we've got Michaela Halpern and Amberlene Holden. All right, and moving along to band. So one of our featured soloists this year, participant in the concert band as well as the jazz ensemble, Mr. Sean Carey. And finally, we've got, all right. And finally, we have another featured member who was also one of the top members in the full Central Massachusetts district and represented our school at a full district-wide ensemble. One of the first chairs, Miss Isabella Rahim. All right, thank you very much.
All right, at this time we would like our world language teachers to come on up.
Buenos dias. My name is Madame Tapa. I teach French and I'm representing the World Language team today. The World Language Award is for excellence and achievement in all areas of language learning, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, with a commitment to communicating in the target language. This award also recognizes students who demonstrate curiosity and interest in world languages and cultures. I am pleased to announce, with Madame Boucher, who's going to help me, the recipients for this year's awards for academic excellence in French and Spanish. For French, the awards go to Rohit Ramanathan, Eva Bergloff,
For French immersion, please hold your applause to the end. We have Julia Longi, Maria Messier, Michaela Halprin, and Sophia Lindsay. If those 4 students could come up. For Spanish, Grace Amelick, Owen Burke, Matthew Waltner, and Elizabeth Stott. For Spanish, Mrs. Beltran, Isabella Rahim, Roma Patel, Mia Wolfgang, and Alexandra Cherpanova. I think I messed that up a little. And for Spanish, Mrs. Rousseau, Leah Moran, Katie Cruz, Brendan McLeod, and Annabelle Arnold.
Thank you, World Languages and the rest of the Unified Arts crew. These last awards, we have a variety of them. We have our principals list, our President's Education Awards, a Scholastic Award, the David McCobb Award, and our Mary Troy Award to kind of cap off our day. So I am starting with our president's list, and I ask that these individuals stand in place, and then your award will be delivered to your homeroom. So after this presentation, sometime between now and the end of the day, get your award from your homeroom teacher. So our president's list, our gold award: Grace Amelick, Annabelle Arnold, Ava Bergloff, and please stand in place and hold your applause to the end, Jenna Canal, Sean Carey, Sophia Cocciarella, Kate Canoni, Sloan Corden, Catherine Cruz, Elizabeth Curry, Catherine Curry, Chloe Drowan, Phoebe Drowan, Sanjana Njiti, Abigail Glenn, Emma Grace, Elisa Grishna, Anish Gugalam, Michaela Halpern, Julie Harrington, Rachel Haynes, Madeline Kilani, Hamsini Kanakaguri, Mukesh Khatri, Sophia Lindsay, Jack Littlejohn, Julia Longi, Mia Lucy, Brendan McLeod, Alyssa Mankus, Joshua Maxwell, Aidan McEachran, Marie Meisner, Mackenzie Mercer, Ava Moran, Leah Moran, Sean O'Neill, Summer O'Neill, Roma Patel, Arush Patnala, Maxwell Payne, Isabella Polny, Jocelyn Quinnen, Isabella Rahim, Rohith Ramanathan, Anika Rose, Brian Sahagan, Caroline Sally, Abigail Schellings, Emily St. George, Elizabeth Stott, Alexandra Cherapanova, Karina Volkov, Matthew Walther, and Connor Wood. In recognition of these individuals, these are Outstanding Academic Excellence. This award is given to grade 8 students only, and to qualify, a student must maintain a 90% average on the traditional grading scale over the 3 consecutive terms. Students also receive a letter from the President and First Lady, as well as a pen. So next, we've got our Silver Award. This goes also for academic achievement. These are our most improved students across the course of this year. And these individuals, please stand to be recognized. Emmanuel Da Silva, Thomas Lero, Zoe Rosen, Logan Schronik. Please stand. Thank you. Our next group, this is our principals list. These are the principals list for grades 6 through 8 must maintain straight A's over all 3 consecutive terms of their current academic year. And these individuals, please come up to the front of the stage and receive your award from Mrs. Beatty. Annabelle Arnold, Catherine Curry, Chloe Drowan, Sanjana Njidi, Elisa Grishna, Rachel Haynes, Julia Longi, Brendan McLeod, Mackenzie Mercer, Summer O'Neill, Roma Patel, Arush Patnala, Isabella Rahim, Brian Sahagan, Alexandra Cherapanova, and Matthew Walther. Thank you. So this next award, this is our Scholastic Award. This award is given to one grade 8 student who is at the top of the academic class. Their name will be placed on a plaque, but we have a certificate to start at this point. So our Academic Scholastic Award is given to Sanjana Njidi. And if at this point, I can invite up Mrs. O'Rourke, Mrs. Roy, and Mrs. Dado Castuan.
Good morning, 8th graders. 13 years ago in May of 2005, our teammate and our friend, Mary Troy lost her life to cancer. To say that Mary Troy was a teacher here would be an understatement. She was a presence at RAM. Some might even argue that she was a force. But what can be agreed upon is that Mary Troy embodied what it meant to work hard and to achieve. Yes, Mary fought hard against cancer and lost the battle, but long before that, she was known for her booming voice, her over-the-top theatrics, and her whatever-it-takes attitude that drew kids to her classroom long after they had been a student. Mary approached everything she did in her personal and professional life with 110%, and she expected the same from her students and from her fellow teachers. Mary spent 26 years at Rams inspiring her students to do their best, cheering on her athletes to win, and loudly reminding her struggling math kids to keep working. The teachers and the students who knew Mary can all agree that she is missed every day. Those who remember her have their own personal story of inspiration. She left a profound impression on everyone she met. Today, one student is recognized for their achievement in memory of Mary Troy.
Do it with me? No, you don't. What do I do? It's me. Sorry, it's my turn. Sorry. The student chosen by the faculty to receive the Mary Troy Award represents all that Mary believed in and valued. The Mary Troy Award is given to someone who possesses a positive attitude about mathematics, but is not necessarily an honor student. It is given to someone who shows perseverance and a consistent effort to learn and progress in the study of mathematics. This year, the recipient is both responsible and shows a tremendous willingness to help others. And lastly, in true Mary Troy style, the student displays a wonderful sense of humor and, of course, loved by all teachers, peers, and the whole Rams community.
Now is my part. The recipient of the Mary Troy Award is Maddie Kinder. Nice job, Maddie.
Our last award this morning, this is the David McCobb Award. This is an award that's nominated by the teachers of Adams. All of the teachers, regardless of grade and subject, nominate some students that they feel represent this award. The following criteria are for this individual. This student possesses a serious attitude about school and the importance of learning, but is not necessarily an honor student. Commits time and effort to the school and the community, presents as a positive role model for students by being cooperative, courteous, and respectful to all. The winner of this year's David McCobb Award is Jenna Canal. Well, everybody, great job this year. A great three years that you've been in this school. It's been fantastic. So this concludes our 8th grade celebration. At this point, 8th grade is dismissing to their homeroom location. So at this point, this concludes. You're dismissing to your homeroom. Thank you.